What's up guys, it's X Ronin, and today I have another topic video for you guys. In today's video, I will be talking about a possible moveset and customization options that Sindel could have in Mortal Kombat 11. As we all know, Sindel is one of the characters who have been announced to be in the Kombat Pack 1 for Mortal Kombat 11, along with characters such as Nightwolf and Spawn. That being said, I thought I'll go ahead and discuss my thoughts on some things that we can possibly see from her, such as a possible moveset, fatal blow, fatalities, gear, skins, intros, and outros. So I hope you guys can enjoy this video, and if you do, please be sure to drop a like to help support my channel. Let's see if we can get this video at least 100 likes, I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, please be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Mortal Kombat 11 content and helping me on my road to 10,000 subscribers. Okay, so first let's start with a possible moveset. Now most fans know Sindel for her screams and her hair attacks, though to categorize her, she's considered a sorceress. That being said, I'm sure we'll see some of her mainstay moves such as her scream, fireball, and hair whip, and also possibly her ability to levitate. I'm thinking we might get to see some new creative variants of these moves for possible customizable moves for her. I can definitely see her levitate move be a customizable move and possibly an enhanced version of her fireball where she shoots out two or shoots it as a low. Curious to see if they can find some new ways to use her hair or even her screams for her gameplay, like how in one of her fatalities in Mortal Kombat 2011, she screamed into her hands forming some kind of sound ball that destroyed her opponent's head when she put it in their mouth. Aside from her normal moves, I would love to see some new moves that further display her skills as a sorceress. I felt that they were able to really do well with displaying that more with Shang Tsung in Mortal Kombat 11 by giving him new moves and combo strings showing this, so I'm hoping maybe they could do the same for her. For her throw, they could do something that's a bit reminiscent of her Mortal Kombat 2011 fatality where she screams into your ear. Maybe after screaming in her opponent's ear, she'll kick them in whatever direction the throw is for, and maybe for the opposite throw, she'll use her hair to throw her opponent in the direction that it's used for. As for a fatal blow, I really couldn't think of anything that was really good. However, I did kind of come up with something that was a bit similar to her MK9 X-ray in the form of using her hair to constrain her opponent. Maybe she could use her screen to cause her opponent to fall to their knees and then bash them in the face with her knee, and then wrap her hair around their neck, then smash them into the ground behind her. That's the only thing I could really come up with, though whatever it may be, we know it will have to be something that's gory, so I'm curious to see what they can come up with for it. Lastly, there's her fatalities, where I did come up with one that I think sounds pretty brutal. As we know, NetherRealm Studios like to kind of rehash on some of their old fatalities, like how they did with Shang Tsung using Kintaro on one of his fatalities from Mortal Kombat 11. So I was kind of thinking that maybe they can go back to one of Sindel's traditional fatalities from UMK3. And in UMK3, she had a fatality where she would scream at her opponent, then their skin would come off. I was thinking that maybe they could do the same, but make it even more brutal. Like imagine if while she's screaming, the opponent is there trying to withstand the impact of it all. While that's happening, their skin is slowly peeling off, kind of like that scene in X-Men 3 where Wolverine was trying to get to Jean or the Dark Phoenix so he could stop her. The opponent's skin will continue to peel off until ultimately they can no longer withstand the scream, and all of their skin is ripped off as the scream begins to do the little slow motion thing that they do. I think this would be really cool and a brutal nod to one of her original fatalities, and could possibly be one of the goriest ones yet in the game. Now as for her second fatality, I couldn't come up with anything, but I'm hoping that we could get something that's unique like the previous one that I mentioned that she had in Mortal Kombat 9 with the sound ball. As I said about her having moves where they further display her sorcery skills, it would be cool if they also do this with her second fatality. Otherwise, I wouldn't mind seeing something cool done with her hair. Maybe she could swing them around or something while bashing them into the ground, kind of like how Hulk flung around Loki in the Avengers movie. Moving on, I would now like to talk about customization options. So first, let's talk about the possible 3 gear pieces that she could have. Now Sindel has never really been a character that has had any defining piece of clothing or anything like that in her designs, so coming up with possible gear pieces was kind of hard, but I think I've come up with 3 good choices for her. After that little teaser we got from Ed Boon a little while back showing Sindel's head, I think it's safe to assume that one of her gear pieces will be that hairpiece clip that she had in her hair. As I mentioned in previous videos, most characters have some kind of headpiece that you can customize, and considering that Sindel doesn't really wear anything or hasn't ever worn anything like that in any of her designs, I think that this new hairpiece that they added to her new design is there because it's going to be one of her customizable gear pieces. So that's definitely one gear piece that I'm pretty sure is going to be in the game. Now for a second gear piece, I'm thinking that she'll get some kind of gloves that she can customize. So far in every design that Sindel has ever had, she has always had some kind of gloves, so I think it's safe to assume that she could have gloves or some kind of arm pieces for her gear as well. Lastly, there's her third gear piece, which I think will be some kind of accessory that will deal with one of her abilities. As many of you may already know, every character in MK11 typically has one gear piece that is focused around one of the character's abilities, so I think it's safe to assume that Sindel will have a gear piece like this as well. That being said, I couldn't think of any gear pieces that would make sense with any of her signature moves, so I think that maybe she'll have one based on a new ability that she will gain in the game. As we saw with Shang Tsung, he has a scroll and a miniature soul jar that he carries as gear pieces that are focused around new moves that they gave him in MK11, so I'm thinking that we will be seeing something like this for Sindel as well. Next, I would now like to talk about possible skins that she could have. Now, these are always random for the most part. I would like to hope that we could see some cool skins for her based on some of her previous skins from previous games, but I hope the same thing for Shang Tsung, and well, that didn't go too well. That being said, I was able to predict that he would get a movie skin from the original Mortal Kombat movies, so I was hoping maybe we could get a skin that resembles Sindel's costume from the second Mortal Kombat movie. Yeah, I know that the movie did suck, but I've always liked the look that the actor had for Sindel in that movie, and I think that it would be really cool to see a skin like this for her in the game. I know it might be a long shot considering how terrible that movie was, but I want to be hopeful for it considering all the other movie stuff that we've gotten in this game. Yes, it's all been from Mortal Kombat 1, but maybe they might just show Mortal Kombat Annihilation just a little bit of love. Just a little bit. Aside from that though, I'm sure that we could expect to see a bunch of random skins for her just like what we got with Shang Tsung. I'm also thinking that her primary look may be her Revenant look, considering all the other Revenants in the game have their Revenant looks as their primary. If that is the case, then we can also expect to see some skins based on her being a Revenant as well. Lastly, I thought it would be fun to talk about a few intro and outro ideas for her that I have. First, there's the idea of her coming down from the air and landing on the ground, kind of like how Cetrion does in one of her intros. Considering that she can levitate through the air, I think that this one does make sense. As for her second intro, I had the idea that maybe she can come in screaming, kind of like how she does in Mortal Kombat 2011 in the scene before she brutally destroys every Earthrealm defender. I 100% think that this would be one of her intros without a doubt, and would be amazed if they did decide to just not have this as one of her intros. As for outros, I could see one where she begins to laugh as she then levitates up into the air, kind of like how she does in UMK3. This wouldn't surprise me considering how a lot of outros are parallel to intros, so if she has an intro where she's levitating, I wouldn't be surprised to see her have an outro where she's levitating as well. Not to mention, it just seems like something that she would do anyways. But those are just the only ideas I have for the most part for some intros and outros for Sindel. I will say that maybe she could have something to represent her royal status as an intro or outro, just like Katana does with the intro where she has people carrying her into battle on a throne. But these are just some of my thoughts for a possible moveset and customization options for Sindel when she's added into Mortal Kombat 11. I am curious to see what new things they'll add to her as a character and what she'll possibly even say in intro dialogues with characters like Shao Kahn and Katana. I just hope that after reading that new character bio where they completely changed up her origin story, that they don't screw her up with any more crazy changes. Bruh. Hey, that's just me being hopeful. She take my money. But what do you guys think about this possible moveset and customization options for Sindel? Is there anything in particular that you want to see? Be sure to let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and also just for fun, drop me your best ideas for intro dialogues that Sindel could have in the comments below. The best one will get pinned. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to drop it a like to help support my channel. Let's see if we can get this video to that 100 likes goal. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at LegendX to keep up with all things that I do on my channel, and to join in on the many discussions that I have. I also have a Discord chat that you guys can join for more discussions. I'll leave a link for that in the descriptions below. If you're new to my channel, please be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Mortal Kombat 11 content. This is Legend X Ronin, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And ripping its opponent apart. In Nightwolf's Mortal Kombat 9 ending, we get to see him turn into a werewolf, and ever since then, I really wanted to see him do this as a fatality. I think that this would not only be awesome, but seriously brutal if done right. I think they should have it where he transforms into a werewolf.